Next up, we have Canto VIII, Boss 1, Battle Theme 2 from the Limbus Company OST. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, what happens if we reach 10,000 before Christmas 2025? The gaming channel. How to request songs if you're not in the live stream. We have a spiel for this and a bunch of other things at the end of the video, so stick around for that. Disclaimers showing on your screen right now, so go ahead and pause the video if you want to read them in full. Otherwise, please be patient with me. I am acoustic and guitar-ed, so please keep that in mind. With that said, let's do this. So we've done the first one before, so I assume this would be like it was clarified that this would play like halfway through the battle. So let's see where it goes. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we have a lot of stuff. We have a lot of stuff going on over here. First, we are having an orchestra, and it sounds to be a full orchestra to me. So we are bringing in a lot of instruments here. But most importantly, we're having the percussion. We're having these war drums giving us our initial beat. Then we are having the brass. We are having the trombones and the tubas, giving us boom kind of thing. And they are giving us what I think is our initial motif. Motif being the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from. The tubas, the trombones currently would be doing what is called a sforzando or a sforzato. So when it comes to music, you have the idea of dynamics. Dynamics is not so much the volume, but the velocity. That's the digital term for this, right? The dynamics we have, how quiet or how loud things get. In sheet music, you go from piano to forte, right? Which, funnily enough, the name of the instrument that sounds like this is the pianoforte, because it was the first of its kind that could go quiet to loud. Piano means quiet, forte means loud. And basically, you have this piano, pianissimo, pianissimo, quiet, quieter, quieter. Then you have forte, fortissimo, fortissimo. Hey, Gashin, thank you for the membership. It does. Remind me afterwards, okay? Remind me afterwards. So yes, forte, fortissimo, that kind of stuff. Then you have like the middle marks, which is M for mezzo, which is kind of, right? So MP, mezzo piano, MF, mezzo forte. And then you have other special markings. One of these is sforzando, and the other one is sforzato. Now, these basically mean the same thing, which is just be louder than everyone. Very, very commonly used for trombones, for tubas, especially because these can get like these very insane brassy sounds. We are having, I believe, the strings, the violins, violas, cellos, double basses, giving us the overall chords. I think they were arpeggiating chords, which arpeggios, that's another thing that is happening over here. Arpeggio is when you play a chord one note at a time. Here C minor, here it's arpeggiated. So we're having this going on. We are having a very slow motif going on. It might not be the motif because the motif might be with the flute. But basically we're having this very slow ascending melody from the brass. Then we bring in the flute, which seems to be not an orchestral flute, but an Eastern flute, like a Japanese flute or something like that. I mean, again, flutes, there are many kinds of flutes. The transversal flute is the one that is used in orchestras, and it sounds like this one isn't one of those. This one sounds to be more of a wooden flute, probably. Let's see where it goes. We also have some plucked strings. So yeah, no, I would say the brass has the motif. There we go. So now in the background we heard the actual flutes. We heard the orchestral flutes giving us some arpeggios, kind of in the opposite way than the other ones. Which kind of flute do you like best solo? I mean, there are many kinds of flutes, but if you're talking about the overall, the section is called the Woodwinds. Woodwinds. Which, funnily enough, on the flute is the only one that does not technically have wood on it because it's made out of metal. The woodwind section is often composed of flutes, oboes, clarinets, and bassoons. My preference is clarinets at the top, followed by bassoons, followed by oboes, followed by flutes. That is my preference, and then there's a little bit more to these. Like there's like the piccolo flute, there's the English horn, the bass clarinet, contrabassoon, which are like variations of these instruments that are either going to play higher or lower, but they're still going to keep that same overall sound. For example, you can see this one over here that twists a little bit. That is a contrabassoon. Probably because of the valves. I think in the flute, probably, yeah. Because they all use very similar, mechanics to this. Like they all have similar mechanisms, and that's why. And they just have a different design. For example, a flute, an orchestral flute, will have you just have this opening over here, and this is where you blow the air in, but then the actual valves are pretty much a similar design to something like an oboe. An oboe, you will see over here, is now a design-wise, it's very similar to a clarinet, except the mouthpiece is a reed. It's a very thin reed that you have with the oboe, whereas the clarinet mouthpiece is more resembling. So you can see how the clarinet is looks very similar to the oboe. Like the end piece is a little bit different, but they look very, very similar. The mechanisms are very, very similar, but the clarinet's mouthpiece is more akin to that of a saxophone rather than, or I guess a saxophone is more akin to a clarinet. And then there is the bassoon, which the bassoon has a similar mouthpiece to that of the oboe, but all of these have similar, they all have similar button, like the button layout is very, very similar amongst all of these. And here you can see like several variations of the bassoon. And yeah, they all have, like the bassoon and the oboe have similar mouthpieces. The clarinet has a similar mouthpiece to the saxophone, and the flute is just this. There are many variations of the flute, but the transversal metal flute is the one that makes it to most orchestras usually. So yeah, we're having this. All that was the clarinet. They all use reeds. They all except the flute use reeds, and the reed is like a little wooden piece that helps create the sound that is then amplified, and then the notes are determined throughout the rest of the body. Imagine a brass sound coming out of a flute. That's a piccolo trumpet. That's just a piccolo trumpet. The piccolo trumpet is a combination of... it's basically just a really, really small trumpet. Well, piccolo just means small. And yeah, it's pretty much... Yeah, the piccolo tromba. Yeah, there you go. So, aren't reeds plants? That is the logical definition. It's just that reed is what they call that part. These are like, yeah, like woodwind reed. If you look at a woodwind reed, it's going to be this little bit over here, or in the case of a clarinet or a saxophone, you can see these little bits, and they kind of look like you know, the weeds, the sea weeds, all the other kinds of reeds that exist out there. They're shaped kind of similarly, so they're called that. Yeah, and yeah, the piccolo trumpet is very goofy in that sense. But yeah, back to this, we are having the strings doing arpeggios upwards, we're having the flutes going arpeggios downwards. Let's see where this goes. So, like, kind of, yeah, I would say. Let's see where this goes. So yeah, we bring another flute. So we bring in a melody from this eastern flute while the rest of the orchestra is holding similarly to what it was during the very, very start. And Dash T, yes, we collaborated with Solkrig for one of the songs. Yeah, he was very, very, very. We had a lot of fun, and yeah, there are other projects on the way. Let's maybe not with Solkrig in the immediate future, but there are others that are on the way that I'm not gonna spoil. Anyway, let's see where this goes. So yeah, this is doing variations of the motif. Yeah, variations. So yeah, right now what we're having is this flute doing a solo-like set of variations of the motif that we had played by the brass at the start. The brass is now following more on the beat set by the drums. We're having the violins mainly giving us arpeggios, these like mountain-shaped arpeggios of the different chords, just moving around while the melody is happening. Let me go back a couple of seconds because I think there's a change here. Let's see where this goes. Okay, so now we have the brass doing a reduced version of the motif. So reduction is a way that you can develop your material with, in which you speed up whatever you're doing, right? So in this case, we were doing like very... Oh, imagine I can play piano, right? So that's kind of what we were having, except, you know, with people that have actual skill. So we were doing that kind of melody with the trombones. Now we're doing a reduction, which just means we're speeding it up. I almost played the same note twice, the same way wrong. Look at that. That's skill, right? And yeah, no, like, it's amazing how some games will have such insanely good music. But yeah, we're having that while I think we have a koto that has come in. A koto being this Japanese instrument, which is kind of like a Japanese harp. I would say like it's a plucked harp, like they use a pick of some sort. Very fascinating world music instruments. By the way, there are two types of instruments according to Western music. There's Western instruments, and then there's world music instruments. World music is any music that falls outside of the Western standard. So that applies to everything that is not under the Western sphere. So that is, you know, Japanese, Chinese, Korean, Indian, or Hindu, whatever you want to call it, African, Latin American, whatever variations you want, like even to some extent like Russian kind of stuff, folk music, all of this falls under the umbrella of world music. And recently, of course, in the last few decades, we've had a bigger and bigger mix of these, as with globalization and global markets, these instruments are a lot more available to non-national markets, right? Like nowadays, you can get a koto. Like if you live in the United States, you can buy a koto. I live in Hungary. I have a moringhur. By the way, moringhur is this one, right? It's the Mongolian horse-headed fiddle, and mine looks almost exactly like this one. It's almost exactly this one, right? Which is, of course, another type of world music instrument. The balalaika fall into world music? Yes, it does. I would say it does, because it's a folk instrument. I would say it does. Some might say it doesn't. So it depends. Shamisen are awesome. So yeah, point here being is that we're having, I mean, right now the art kind of gives away. It was very Japanese oriented. So let's just see where it goes, okay? Okay, so we now bring in both the flute, the Japanese flute, and the koto, and now the violins are doing staccatos. So staccato is when you play short bursts, so they're just playing like the high notes of the chords, and they're just being done fast and quick. That's staccato, right? You know. That kind of stuff, like quick, short bursts of music. This, so who here knows We Can Dream by Creo? I mean, I think we've done that one. Error, welcome today. How you doing? So yeah, let's see where this goes. And Zivian, yes, request for open sewer. So now we have, we bring in the woodwinds doing some arpeggiations similar to those melodies that we've had before, doing that kind of stuff. I am surprised it's taken this long for the French horns to show up. I'm not against it, it's just with how epic this is. Yeah, we did that, right? Yeah, we did it. Okay, so let's see where this goes. Let's see. Oh, a quick moment of a crescendo. Very cool. And we bring in a solo flute. And what we're doing over here in the accompaniment, by the way, accompaniment is the whatever does not have the spotlight, right? Whatever doesn't have it for that. Barry, welcome today. How you doing, man? So yeah, we're having this, and on top of that, now we have the brass doing an inversion of the motif. Inversion is another way that you can develop your material in which you turn something upside down. So let's say we have the motif, right? We bring that, and instead of doing it that way, we can invert it and we can play it downwards. That kind of thing. Not quite the opposite, because the opposite of inversion is just the prime version, the original version of your motif. But another thing you can do is a retrograde. I know that, that's when you just play the motif backwards, right? That is a retrograde. And then you can also have retrograde inversion, right? Because here's the inversion, and here's the retrograde inversion. So you can really mess around with these. And of course, the coolest thing about these things is that you don't have to do the whole thing the whole way, right? Like you can just use these to create new melodies, and everything is very, very, very cool. And on top of that, we are having, of course, the solos going on. Let's see where this goes. We bring back the arpeggios, descending arpeggios, while we have that solo. Nice, Barry, nice. All right, we tone things down a little bit. We pull back a little bit on, and now we go full on with Japanese percussion. And it sounds like mostly we're using Japanese percussion for this. So usually when you have an orchestra, one of the main percussions is going to be the timpani. This one up here. Timpani holds a very special place in music because these are bass drums that are pitched, so you can use them kind of as a bass. And then you have the rest of the percussion, which is probably the most unpredictable out of all of them, because you can literally have anything as percussion. Right now, we are using primarily Japanese percussions. So, let's see where this goes. We're speeding up a little bit, doing rhythmic variations. Nice, and there we go. So now we bring in, oh, this is really cool. We bring in this version of the motif using partially an inversion of what we were doing before, and primarily focusing on this new melody, right? Like this is a very ascending melody. I like how the melody often has a bit of counterpoint with the main motif. But yeah, now we have the melody going. We bring in the chorus just being a group of people singing, right? And they're doing doublings with the melodies. Doubling being when you have more than one instrument playing the same thing at the same time. Let's just see where it goes. Oh, we bring trumpets as well. Nice. We're having those brass instruments holding back, but we bring the trumpets. And oh, this is so cool. Okay, so now, of course, this is the climax of the piece. We are now just allowing and we are revisiting as much of the material that we've done so far. we are bringing pretty much everything at once. We're having the trumpets doing their like offbeat, the stuff that trumpets are very often very known to do, pa-pa-pa-pam kind of thing. We are having the low brass, the trombones and the tubas, but there's maybe the French horns there as well, doing their like slow melody. We're having the shamisen, not the shamisen, the flute and the rest of the woodwinds and the strings giving us these arpeggios, like these unfinished arpeggios. We're having everything happening. So let's see where it goes. That chorus. Will you also someday teach how to actually make music? I don't know. I'm not a good teacher. Like, the thought has come into my mind of doing a series on how to music. It would be considerably more boring, but could happen. All right, so let's just see how this one ends, because we got like 45 seconds left. Let's see where this goes. We're repeating this, and the trumpets are going higher. Nice. We bring everything higher. We bring back the flute. Very beautiful variation of the melody. Oh, we're having so many instruments playing this beautiful melody. And there we go. We are teasing that ending. We resolve it, and we start bringing it back down. So that it immediately loops back. This is how you end something so that it loops immediately back. And there you have it. So we have this moment of bringing it down and then a crescendo, right? Crescendo is when you get louder. And there you go, dude. This is all like Limbus Company music has always been insanely good. Like I don't think we've had so far. We haven't done that many, but so far we have yet to have a single Limbus Company track that is bad. So there you have it. Beautiful orchestral piece, beautiful combination between Western and Eastern with the Japanese instruments and themes and everything. Very, very beautiful stuff. And yeah. There you go. That was Canto VIII, Boss 1, Battle Theme 2 from the Limbus Company soundtrack. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term I'm going to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, if we somehow hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube before Christmas 2025, which not very likely, still possible, just not very likely. If it happens, on top of doing the audiobook fan fiction thing, I will also play a single video game of the choice of the community, whatever y'all vote for, within terms of service, of course, and we'll dedicate a couple of streams to that. This has to be achieved through legitimate and honest means only. No account duping, no botting, no buying followers, no alt accounting, no rat behaviors like that. Go share the videos, the streams with your friends, with your families, with your family's friends, with your friends' families. Those are two very distinct concepts, by the way. With your online and offline communities, go share these videos with everybody that you know. Also, use the hype function on YouTube. We have a group on the Discord that coordinates for that, so link down below. Go join the Discord and coordinate. Artists on YouTube or elsewhere, musicians, this is an open invitation. If you want any of my musical skills for any of your projects, whether it's my guitars, Mongolian throat singing, you know, the good old kind of thing, regular singing, voice acting, or if you want help figuring out something for your composition, whatever it is, reach out, let me know, let's work together, let's make stuff. And if you're in the audience and you know somebody that could benefit from it, reach out, let them know. Please do not harass people. Please do not harass anyone. Please do not spam anyone. Be cool about things. Don't be a rat. Members get early access to the content. I schedule the videos for the week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member on YouTube, regardless of your tier, you get access to the videos when I schedule them, at least for the LFAs. So become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3.5 seconds, I will be linking it in the description down below. If you want to, if you want to listen to this. Yes, if you want to request a song, If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, check the pinned comment in this video. It has the instructions on what to do. And if you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. We stream live on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick so that you can tune in from whichever platform you prefer. Again, 6 p.m. Central Europe. If you're not in Europe, do not worry. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch. So if you live in Kirby and you're like, yeah, but what time is 6 p.m. in Hungary? I don't live there. Do not worry. Just go to the Discord or the Twitch. They're both linked down below. And it's going to show the schedule in your local time zone. And follow the gaming channel. I have a gaming channel because, of course, I have a gaming channel. I'm on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are Basterd. That's where I put the gaming after show recordings. When they happen, we record them live on the stream as an after show, and then the recordings go there. Link down below in the description, or just search on YouTube, same username for James R. Basterd. Just swap the J for a G, and you got it. And yeah. There you have it. There you have it. Canto VIII, Boss 1, Battle Theme 2, Limbus Company. Really good stuff, man. Really, really good. But yeah, let's move on.